Welcome to the San Diego S-Gagers Modular Model Railroad. We're in the Powell Yard today to execute a realistic freight operations scenario. We have a 15-car freight train that has come in on the eastbound main. Its first two cars, a boxcar and a reefer, need to go to the freight station at the far end of the rail yard. The other cars will be split up into three separate trains on different parts of the yard to later go out on local short line railroads for delivery to warehouses and factories in the area. Following standard railroad protocol, the cars in those trains must be arranged in a specific order for efficient delivery on each short line. The road engine will go off to the engine yard for servicing, while our local yard engine splits up the consist into the required trains. Since we don't have an S-scale brakeman, we have to use me, a 1-to-1 scale brakeman, to do the coupling and uncoupling. Before it leaves for the engine yard, the road engine will split the consist into two parts to simplify the job for the yard engine. The brakeman has already uncoupled the consist behind the two cars that need to go to the freight station. The road engine will pull the front part of the consist ahead on the main line so the yard engine can come into the middle of the consist and pick up those two cars. It turns out that that will simplify a great deal the job of moving the cars around in the yard where they go. The yard engine now will back up out of the yard in order to pick up those two front cars that need to go to the freight station. They weren't aligned right, so they didn't couple properly. But our brakeman is on the scene for just such an eventuality. After connecting up those front two cars, it backs up to connect to the rest of the consist. We did connect properly. Now we've got a brake because the next 7 cars in the consist just happen to be in a convenient sequence for splitting up the consist in the yard for later shipment out on the short lines. The yard engine now pulls the consist into the yard on track 6. It drops the back 3 cars onto that back part of track 6 and moves further forward. to the front of track 6, where the brakeman can flip these turnouts, and it will back up onto track 7. To start the next part of the split. So these 2 reefers will go on that train, train B, and the yard engine can move ahead. To begin train A at the front of track 7. Drops those 2 cars there. And moves ahead to drop the front 2 cars at the freight station. Out. Brakeman flips the turnouts for it to go out, exit from the yard, onto the main line. Where it can back up to pick more of the consist that's waiting in the wings. So in the first step of this operation, we have successfully started train C in the front here with the 2 reefers and the Great Northern boxcar. Train on track 6, the back of track 6. We've got the post road reefer, and one of the Narragansett reefers is the beginning of train B on the back part of track 7. And we've got 2 reefers over on as part of track A on the front of track 7. And we've delivered the boxcar and the reefer down into the freight station. So about half of the job is done.